Hello my dear friends. Hello my dear friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channels. Myself Dr. Mukul Vats, and today we will have start the some series like in which we will discuss the some important stuff related to your exams. And in this video we will discuss something related to the pharmacologicals, like what important drugs has been asked in your exams. And so let's start without wasting the times. In between I will keep speaking in Hindi also, that I will just keep speaking in Hindi also, so that it will be easy to understand for the Hindi speaking students. And also this is my Insta handle, so here you can follow me here. And if you have any query, you can write me on the Instagrams at the rate Dr. Madip Mukul. And I hope everyone, you are fine, you are doing great. So let's start without wasting its times. And let's start. तो चलो शुरू करते हैं. Let me just make it small. Okay. So our topic is what? That is the pharmacologicals important drugs. Now if we talk about the pharmacological important drugs, I wrote every drugs like the systemic wise, whether it's cardiology, then gastroenterology, rheumatology, hematology, all these I wrote in this PDF. So how you will help, and whatever the questions will be asked in the exams will be covered in this PDF. So let's start. And let's firstly start from the cardiology. And the cardiology, we will start with the digoxins. So if the digoxin question will become, so remember the digoxin is what? That is the cardiac glycosides. It is what? It is the cardiac glycoside drugs. And always remember, if you see it is helpful in the dyspnea patients, cardiac enlargement patient, or atrial fibrillation patients. But remember one thing, that it cause ventricular extrasystoles. Which drugs cause ventricular extrasystole? So remember, the digoxin is a drug that cause ventricular extrasystole. If digoxin cause ventricular systole, so in the question they will give you the loads of the drugs, and in that drugs they will give you the diagnosis that patient have the polymorphic ventricular extrasystole. So what you have to do, you have to remove from that scheme. Which drugs? Digoxin drug will be removed from that scheme in polymorphic ventricular extrasystoles, because this is the side effect of that digoxin. That is very important side effect. Then if we talk about the overdose, if the digoxin overdose will be there, so there will be the increase in bradycardia. Then again there is a nausea will be there, vomiting will be there, dizziness will be there, and disturbed sleep will be there. So all these are the features that you will see in the digoxin. So we will revise it again. Digoxin is the cardiac glycoside drugs, and also remember they are cause ventricular extrasystole. So we have to remove from the scheme in polymorphic ventricular extrasystole, or this drug is contraindicated in ventricular extrasystole. So what? Overdose will cause the bradycardia, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, disturbed sleep. So this one you can get as a keyword in your questions. After that, let's talk about the beta blockers. Now we know we have the beta blockers, we have the beta 1 also and the beta 2 also. So some are the non-selective, some are the selective. Selective means if it is acting only on the single receptor. Like if it is a beta 1, then selective beta 1 blocker and selective beta 2 blocker. If it is acting on the both, that means it is the non-selective beta blockers. Now can we see the beta blockers? It is used for reducing the blood pressure in the extrasystole. So if in the question, there are direct questions I took from the all the questions that I got. So this is the beta blockers for reducing the blood pressures in extrasystoles. After that, remember there will be the atenolol. Now atenolol, remember, this is the drug of the choice for hypertension. This is the drug of the choice for hypertension patient. So if atenolol is there, then which drugs is drug of the choice for hypertension? Remember, that is the atenolol. Now anaprylin. Can you tell me what another name of the anaprylin? Can you tell? Yes, write me in the chat box. What is the another name of anaprylin? Yes, you are all are correct. That is propranolol. That is the propranolol. So propranolol, remember, this is used in case of the diffuse toxic goiter. This is used in case of the diffuse toxic goiter, and this is also used in case of the atrial fibrillation. This is used in case of the diffuse toxic goiter, and this is used in case of the atrial fibrillation. There is a one more question, very common question, कि bronchial asthma के अंदर हम कौन सी ड्रग कॉन्ट्रा इंडिकेटेड होती है? इन ब्रोंकियल अस्थमा विच ड्रग्स विल बी कॉन्ट्रा इंडिकेटेड? तो वो होती है प्रोपेनोलोल. वो क्या होती है? प्रोपेनोलोल. सो रिमेंबर द प्रोपेनोलोल, इट इज कॉन्ट्रा इंडिकेटेड इन ब्रोंकियल अस्थमा. तो इट इज कॉन्ट्रा इंडिकेटेड इन द ब्रोंकियल अस्थमा. ओके, आफ्टर दैट this drug is again very important, metoprolol. Metoprolol or bisoprolol, they are the two different drugs, but they are both are selective beta 1 blockers, means they act only on the beta 1, and beta 1 it is present in the heart, so they are useful in hypertension, useful for coronary artery disease, and very important, they are used in HOCM, or we can say the drug of the choice for HOCM is the metoprolol. And remember that for HOCM we have the hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, so we see the interventricular segments will be hypertrophied. So hypertrophy हो जाएगी किसकी? इंटरवेंट्रिकुलर सेगमेंट की. तो HOCM क्या होगा? हाइपरट्रोफिक कार्डियोमायोपैथी. So what you will see in this case, for reduction of the left ventricular cavity, in always remember in HOCM the ejection fraction you will get that always will be less than 50%. So ejection fraction कितना मिलेगा? कितना मिलेगा? लेस देन 50%. कितना होगा? लेस देन 50% होगा. किस में होगा? HOCM के अंदर होगा. कैन यू टेल मी मेटोप्रोलोल और बिसोप्रोलोल? भर के क्वेश्चंस है. मेटोप्रोलोल, बिसोप्रोलोल, बिसोप्रोलोल, बिसोप्रोलोल. सो रिमेंबर मेटोप्रोलोल और बिसोप्रोलोल, they are the selective beta 1 blocker and they are used for the hypertension, coronary artery disease. The main questions was from the HOCM. So they are used in HOCM, and HOCM hypertrophic cardiomyopathy ejection fraction will always be less than 50%. Now you will ask me कि सर ejection fraction normal कितना होता है? तो भाई normal ejection fraction कितना होता है? Normal ejection fraction is 55 to 70%. 55 से 70. नॉर्मल कितना होता है? 55 to 70%. अभी देखो, देयर इज अ टू हार्ट फेलियर. एक होता है डायस्टोलिक हार्ट फेलियर, एक होता है सिस्टोलिक हार्ट फेलियर. जब हम डायस्टोलिक हार्ट फेलियर की बात करते हैं तो इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन क्या होगा? हमेशा नॉर्मल. तो उसके अंदर इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन क्या होगा? नॉर्मल होगा. बट सिस्टोलिक हार्ट फेलियर के केस में क्या होता है? इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन क्या हो जाता है? डिक्रीज. तो HOCM जो है वो सिस्टोलिक डिस्फंक्शन है या डायस्टोलिक डिस्फंक्शन है? इट इज सिस्टोलिक डिस्फंक्शन, बिकॉज हमने क्या बोला कि इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन क्या हो रहा है? दैट इज लेस देन 50%. इफ इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन इज लेस देन 50%, दिस इज द सिस्टोलिक हार्ट फेलियर. See, video can be the longs, but the content is very important for your exam. Okay, so then we have the Obsidian. Then we have the Obsidian bolo or Obsidian bolo, whatever. So Obsidian, remember, this is used in case of the tetralogy of the Fallot's. It is used in the tetralogy of the Fallot's. They attack, remember the PROVE, that is prove. So this is mnemonics that is seen in case of the tetralogy of Fallot. Then it is also used in case of the non-rheumatic cardiac patient is there, and in that patient we see there is a attack has been done with increased pressure and the tachycardia. So in that conditions also we use the Obsidian. In that patient also which drugs will be given? That is the Obsidian will be given. So in the question they will give you that one patient is there, he has a history of the non-rheumatic carditis and he got suddenly the attack with increased there is an increase in the blood pressures and there is an increase in the heart rate of that patient. So which drugs will be given in this patient? So which drugs will be given? That is the Obsidian will be given. कौन सी ड्रग देंगे? Obsidian देंगे. अभी एक और क्वेश्चन है कि इन क्वेश्चन प्रिवेंशन ऑफ रिकरेंट इन्फेक्शन, इफ वी वांट टू प्रिवेंट द रिकरेंट इन्फेक्शंस, सो व्हिच ड्रग्स विल बी गिवन? दैट इज द Obsidian. That is the Obsidian. Along with that we will give the aspirin and acetyl salicylic acid, that will be given along with the Obsidian. Okay, after that if you want to treat the hypertension, if you want to treat the hypertensions, so which drugs will be given? That is the ACE inhibitors. The ACE inhibitors, sir, we know कि ये hypertension के लिए होती है. तो ACE inhibitor atherosclerosis, increase in the glucose level, then diabetic mellitus, kidney disease after thrombolysis. Sir, there are the loads of hypertensive drugs. तो अब कैसे होगा? देखो ऐसे होगा कि ACE inhibitor there is atherosclerosis, we can use in the patient of atherosclerosis. If a atherosclerosis patient, we see there is a hypertension. If we see the diabetic patient is there and patients got hypertension, if we see there any kidney disease after the thrombolysis, in that patient we are seeing the hypertension drugs, that we will give the ACE inhibitors. Can you tell me the ACE inhibitors? ACE inhibitors, ACE inhibitor. तो ACE means pace. ACE means क्या करोगे? पेस, भागना नहीं है, डटे रहना है, लास्ट तक डटे रहना है, ठीक है, भागना नहीं है. तो पेस मतलब क्या होता है? लाइक रन, ठीक है, दैट इज पेस. द पेस, रिमेंबर द P4 pills, the P4 pills. So pills are the ACE inhibitor drugs. pills कैसी होती हैं? ACE inhibitor होती हैं, सबको पता है, सभी को पता है. फिर अच्छा बता दो कि which drugs is used for the prevention of the cardiac death? Which ACE inhibitor is used for the prevention of the cardiac death? So you will get this in the on your option. तो वो कौन सी ड्रग होती है? कौन सी ड्रग होगी? बता दो, बताओ बताओ कौन सी ड्रग होगी? बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, यू आर करेक्ट. वो क्या होगी? एनालप्रिल. कौन सी प्रिल? एनालप्रिल. एनालप्रिल. सो एनालप्रिल, देखो जितनी भी ये प्रिल्स हैं, ऑल दीज प्रिल्स, इनकी एक प्रॉब्लम है. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? दे हैव द प्रॉब्लम्स कि ऑल दिस, चलो पहले कैप्टोप्रिल की बात करते हैं. कैप्टोप्रिल विल बी गिवन फॉर इफ लॉन्ग हिस्ट्री ऑफ हाइपरटेंशन, देन विच ड्रग्स विल बी प्रेफर? कैप्टोप्रिल्स. Other than that, we see there is an increase in the blood pressure, but other organs are not affected. Like the in the question they can give you the pregnant lady and having the increase in the blood pressure, long history of hypertensions, they have no menstrual problems, they have no any other pathology and no organ is affected, no kidney pathology. So in that we will give the captopril, but there will be the long history of hypertension. So if the long history of hypertension is given in the question, then captopril will be the answer. अभी प्रिल्स की मैंने क्या बोला? एक गंदी बात. प्रिल्स की गंदी बात क्या होती है? एक साइड इफेक्ट होता है. इसका जो साइड इफेक्ट है वो क्या है? दैट इज ड्राई कफ. साइड इफेक्ट क्या होता है? ड्राई कफ. खो खो तो ड्राई कफ होगा. तो ड्राई कफ होगा तो क्या देंगे? तो क्वेश्चन दे विल आस्क यू, if the patient has taken the pills, patient has taken, they will not say the pills, they will say that patient has taken the ACE inhibitor, after that the patient is doing so it means the patient having the dry cough, the patient is doing the dry cough. Now what you will do, what the further tactics will be done? So remember that if the pills side effect dry cough, so change the drugs and give the sartan. Which drugs you will give? The sartan. The sartan drugs will be given. So like example valsartans, telmisartan, all these drugs will be given in that case. After that, the next drug, the calcium channel blocker. The calcium channel blocker, this is also related to the cardiology. So let's see. The calcium channel blocker, the calcium, they have the important role in our heart. They are also used in case of the coronary artery disease. They decrease the blood pressure in the left atrium. They are the direct questions. If the decreased blood pressure in the left atrium is given in the questions, then which drugs will be given? That is the calcium channel blocker will be given. After that, we see there is a decrease in the calcium channel blocker. They decrease the diastolic arterial pressure. They decrease the diastolic arterial pressures will be decreased. What is the side effect? We will see the side effect will be the edema. Okay. After that, the other example की बात करते हैं तो क्या होगा? Verapamil. तो verapamil, phalodipine, amlodipine. So these all are the calcium channel blocker. Nifedipines. Now they will ask you that if patient is there of hypertension, which drug is causing the edema? That is a calcium channel blocker. So the side effect of the calcium channel blocker, that is amlodipine causing the edema. So phalodipine or the amlodipine, this is again the question that has been asked to you. And remember, if the phalodipine, amlodipine is there, they cause which drugs? They cause which side effect? They cause the edema in hypertensive patient. Then after that nifedipine. After that nifedipine. अभी nifedipine की बात करते हैं तो nifedipine we can give in the variant angina. Can you tell me another name of variant angina? Can you tell me another name of variant angina? The another name of variant angina is, that is, yes, Prinzmetal angina. The another name of the nifedipine or the variant, another name of variant angina is Prinzmetal angina. So nifedipine can given in the Prinzmetal angina or the variant angina. They can also be used in case of the Raynaud's syndrome. They can also be used in the case of the Raynaud's syndrome or the Raynaud's phenomena. Then we can give the long acting dihydropyridines. If the question has been asked, if the patient having the severe hypertension, so if the severe hypertension is given in the questions, so remember in that condition what we will give the long acting dihydropyridines. In that conditions what we will give the long acting dihydropyridines will be given. ठीक है, समझ में आया? ठीक है, ओके चलो आगे चलते हैं. आगे क्या है? एंटी अरिथमिक ड्रग्स. एंटी अरिथमिक ड्रग्स दे कैन आस्क यू द एम्योडरोन्स, एडिनोसिन्स एंड उसी का छोटा भाई कोडारोन. सो रिमेंबर, इफ we talk about the amiodarone, if we talk about the amiodarone, so remember the amiodarone that is used in case of the ventricular extrasystole. This is used in case of the ventricular extrasystole and used in as a initial therapy. अरे यार ventricular extrasystole I discussed something की side effect किसका side effect था? Write down. That is yes that D for DG ventricular digoxin, that is the digoxin that is the causing the ventricular extrasystole. Now you are telling me the treatment also. Treatment is क्या है? Amiodarone. क्या है? Amiodarone है. Then what they do for prevention of the atrial fibrillation? For prevention of atrial fibrillations, amiodarone. For treatment of initial therapy in case of the ventricular extrasystoles, which drugs can be given? That is the amiodarone. Then after that, cordarone. The code, sometimes they will give you amiodarone, in the bracket they will give you cordarones, and like the similar, but they have the very little difference. So not the similar drugs, but they can, in the options you can get the both drugs, amiodarones. In the bracket you will get the cordarone also. So remember the cordarones, it is used for the prophylaxis of the paroxysmal atrial fibrillations, and this is seen in patient of the rheumatism. In the rheumatism patients you see the paroxysmal atrial fibrillation. So which drugs will be given? That is the cordarone will be given. Okay, after that, adenosine, it is the drug of the choice in paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia. So which drugs will be given in paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia? Yes, that is the adenosine. Adenosine drugs will be given in case of the paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia. In supraventricular tachycardia, you see the above the ventricles, you see there is a more tract will be formed that will be increase the conduction speed. So that is the paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia. Then we will be having the some other important like related to the cardiology. We having the isosorbide dinitrate. So this isosorbide dinitrate, remember, this we used in case of the CAD, coronary artery disease. We used in case of the angina, and remember that they will ask you the side effect. So remember the side effect. The side effect will be the esophagogastritis. The esophagogastritis, it is caused by which drugs? That is the isosorbide dinitrate. Isosorbide dinitrate will cause the esophagogastritis. समझ में आ गया यहाँ तक? किसी को कोई दिक्कत नहीं होनी चाहिए. ठीक है, आगे चलो. अभी देखते हैं नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन एंड फुरासिमाइड. क्या है? नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन एंड फुरासिमाइड. So you see the nitroglycerin and furosemide. So this is used in the congestive heart failure, and this is used in the dyspnea also. Along with that, where you will give, see, firstly you see there is a nitroglycerin. So remember the nitroglycerin, it is contraindicated in the HOCM. So contraindicated in which condition? HOCM, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. We don't give the nitroglycerin. Then remember the nitroglycerin that not useful in the MI patient and the chest pain or the unstable angina patient. In unstable angina patient, the complicate to form the MI. But in unstable angina, we can't treat the chest pains, the chest pain will not be relieved by the nitroglycerins, but we can use nitroglycerin in progressive angina pectoris. So if we having the progressive angina pectoris, so in that conditions we can use the nitroglycerins. So in the question they will give you, like the questions about the unstable, about the angina. So in the question they will give you the patient is not relieved by the nitroglycerin. The patient is not relieved by the nitroglycerin. It means which angina he is talking about? He is talking about the unstable angina. ओके, इन द क्वेश्चन दे विल गिव यू नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन जो है वो रिलीव नहीं कर पा रही चेस्ट पेन को, तो मतलब वो किसकी बात कर रहा है? इट कैन बी द अनस्टेबल एंजाइना और इट कैन बी द एमआई चेस्ट पेन. इफ इट सेइंग दैट nitroglycerin relieving the chest pain, it means this is the can be the case of the progressive angina pectoris. This is never be the case of the unstable angina or MI chest pain. Okay, then furosemide, remember this is used for, like if the patient will be getting the history of essential hypertension. Now after that we will see the dry and moist rails will be there. So in that patients we can give the nitroglycerin and furosemides will be given. Okay, after that let's talk about the diuretics. उसके बाद आता है, after that let's talk about the diuretics. So diuretics we will be having the torsemide or the furosemide. That is the very important drugs that will be asked. So furosemide, remember if any edema will be given in the questions, whether it is the cerebral edema or whether it is the pulmonary edema, usually we give the, in the case of the cerebral edema, mannitol has been given. But if you see in the question that any edema is given in the questions, and along with that if any congestive heart failure is given in the questions, then in that things you have to go for the furosemide. If the furosemide is not given in the questions or in the option, then you can go for the torsemide. So torsemide, they are the little sister of the furosemide. Then after that, if you see in the question the congestive heart failure and for the moderate hypertension, so in that conditions we will go for the hydrochlorothiazide or the hypothiazides, hydrochlorothiazide or hypothiazide. So remember, you will see if the patient will be having the history of the thiazides. If the history of the thiazides in that patients, it can lead to the acute subdural hematoma. So this is the direct questions from your Q bank. So if you see there is a history of the thiazide is there in the question, so in that condition you see there is acute subdural hematoma will be there. So if you see hydrochlorothiazides in congestive heart failure and the moderate hypertensions or hypothiazides, so this is used in congestive heart failure and the moderate hypertension. After that there is one more drug, that is the aldactone. Now see aldactone, remember this is the spironolactone. So this is another name of the spironolactone. Aldactone means that is the spironolactone. So spironolactone, you know that this is the potassium sparing diuretic. क्या होती है ये? पोटेशियम स्पैरिंग डायूरेटिक होती है, बट इसका एक साइड इफेक्ट होता है. क्या साइड इफेक्ट होता है? गाइनिकोमेस्टिया. बिल्कुल सही, गाइनिकोमेस्टिया. So gynecomastia. If tell me if the gynecomastia is there and the question they are given, if patient has been taken the spironolactone, but after that the patient having the side effect or the like gynecomastia like of the side effects, so which drugs will be given alternative of the spironolactones? So which drugs will be given? That is the aplirenone. That will be the aplirenone will be given. Okay. So if the spironolactone will be combined with the furosemide, so remember we can give this in the liver cirrhosis induced edema. So this can be given in the liver cirrhosis induced edema, that will be the spironolactone plus furosemide drugs. Okay. Other dopamine. Then before we studied about the digoxins, now we are talking about the dopamine. The dopamine we know that is the neurotransmitter, and dopamine, remember, we used in case of the cardiogenic shock. Also remember we were having the dopamine agonist. With the dopamine agonist drugs we can use in hyperprolactinemia, because remember the dopamine it inhibit the prolactin. That's why we can give the dopamine agonist in which condition? Hyperprolactinemia. In which condition? Hyperprolactinemia. Which drugs will be given? The dopamine agonist. Which drug is contraindicated in ventricular extrasystole? Yes, that is correct one. That is the digoxin. The digoxin is contraindicated in ventricular extrasystole. After that, prednisolone, corticosteroid, glucocorticoids, or in the question they can give you the steroid also. So remember all these drugs. They are used in case of the Quincke's edema. Remember this is a node, the quinsy. Quinsy is peritonsillar abscess. जो क्विंजी होती है वो क्या होती है? पेरिटोन्सिलर अब्सेस होती है. पेरिटोन्सिलर अब्सेस. But this is what? This is Quincke's edema. Okay, this is different from the quinsy. Then Quincke's edema, which drugs will be given? The steroidal drugs will be given. Agar if the patient having the hemorrhagic shock, so in hemorrhagic shock also which drugs will be given? That is the steroids drugs will be given. Then myocardial infarction patients, which drugs will be given? Again the steroidal drugs will be given. And also remember the anaphylactic shock. In anaphylactic shock, which drugs will be given? Tell me, here I am writing. In anaphylactic shock, which drug will be given? Everyone write me in the chat box. Anaphylactic shock, which drugs will be given? Which drugs will be given in the anaphylactic shock? Yes, that is epinephrine hydrochloride. The epinephrine hydrochloride, because in epinephrine hydrochloride it acts on alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. But if I ask you for the primary treatment in anaphylaxis, which drugs will be given? Then we can give the steroids. For anaphylactic shock, remember which drugs will be given? That is the epinephrine hydrochloride. But if we talk about there is a primary treatment in anaphylaxis, then we will give the steroids. If the case of the primary rheumatic carditis or polyarthritis, in rheumatic carditis, primary rheumatic carditis, the patient will have it develop the polyarthritis. So in that conditions, which drugs will be given? That is steroidal drugs will be given. The steroidal drugs will be given. Okay. After that, the next drug is what? That is the promidol. So promidol, remember, that is used in case of the MI or acute transmural infarctions. Remember, if it is the transmural, that means it is talking about the STEMI. That is the ST elevation MI. That is the transmural infarction. If it is the subendocardial, that will be the NSTEMI. That is the NSTEMI. It is what? It is the subendocardial. So in which condition we will giving? That is the acute transmural infarction or the STEMI. Then drugs proven at the first place. The drugs that is proven at the first place, which drugs is that? That is the promidol. Okay. Anaphylactic shock, which drug will be given? Epinephrine. Promidol, acute transmural infarctions, and which drugs? Promidol. Proven at the first place, promidol. So you have the beautiful quote here that you are on mission this week. Not in this week, just month. You can say that you are mission on this week or in this month. Take the risk. Take the risk means you have to be focused only and only on your study. Give your best in this month or in this week. Live life boldly. Like you have to work hard. You have to show your hard work. You should be imagine that you are working hard day and night. Then you will see your results, and after that you will see that what the results that you will get. The positivity that will become from inside you, that here I really work hard for these things, I really do something for this. This is my achievement of my all the hard works that I put here in this month. Don't keep wondering what it would be like. कि क्या होगा, क्या नहीं होगा, अरे मेरे को पता नहीं क्या सा होगा, पता नहीं क्या होगा. Don't keep wondering what it would be like. There are loads of the things that can be happen. So just think positives and just keep going. Okay. So just take a deep breath and keep continue. Because हमें लास्ट तक डटे रहना है. We have to keep focusing till the end. Now the gastroenterology. In the gastroenterology, the first thing, the question I saw that there are loads of the question about the Helicobacter pylori. So Helicobacter pylori, remember, this is the most common cause of peptic ulcer disease, the most common cause of the peptic ulcer disease. Then remember that if the Helicobacter pylori, we have asked the triple therapy. Which triple therapy will be given in case of the Helicobacter pylori? So that which drugs will be given? That is the omeprazole, that is the देखो normally what we see in case of the peptic ulcer disease, the first things we have to do, that is the lifestyle modification. I posted a reel also on like Instagram reel on my Instagram page at the rate Dr. Medic Mukuls. So all about the peptic ulcer disease, the gastric ulcers or the duodenal ulcers, what are the treatments we will give. So remember that we have to go for the lifestyle modification. After the lifestyle modification, remember we will go for the PPI. If the patient will not able to treat with the PPI, then we will go for the omeprazole, trichophilums and clarithromycins. Omeprazole, it is the proton pump inhibitors, along with other proton pump inhibitor, pantoprazoles, all these can be given. Then omeprazoles, remember that is the proton pump inhibitors. Along with that, you have to give the trichophilum. The trichophilum is another name is metronidazole, and other drugs we will give, that is the clarithromycin. Okay, so this is what we have to given. There can be the quadruple therapy also, in which we add more drugs like the bismuth preparations, so that can also be added in the Helicobacter pylori treatment. But firstly we go for the PPI. If the PPI is not able to treat, then we will go for the triple therapy or the quadruple therapy. And the important things in the peptic ulcer disease, that you have to go for the lifestyle modification. Okay. The next, they will give you the patient having the diagnosis of the autoimmune hepatitis. The diagnosis of the autoimmune hepatitis. In the question they have given the HBs antigen positive, HBe antigen positive, and the diagnosis they had already made, that autoimmune hepatitis. So in that conditions, which drugs will be given? That is the PAG interferon alpha 2A. Which drugs? PAG interferon alpha 2A will be given. PAG interferon alpha 2A will be given in that conditions. Again, we can see that in sometimes in the peptic ulcer disease, they will give you in the option the D-nol. The D-nol, remember that is the bismuth subcitrate. So this is given in the case of the quadruple therapy. So remember, if the triple therapy is not mentioned in the question, you can go for the D-nol. So D-nol, it is used in case of the peptic ulcer disease. And what is that? It is the bismuth subcitrate. It is the, what the compound we will see in case of the D-nol, that is the bismuth subcitrate will be there. Okay, till now everything clear. चलो आगे चलते हैं. The next is famotidines. The next is famotidines. This is so hot today, and the fan is also off. Okay, so the famotidines. So let's see the famotidines, that is the Coa metals. That is the Coa metals. So what you will see, the H2 blockers. The H2 blockers, that is the famotidines. So famotidine, remember this is the Coa metal. The famotidines, which is that is the Coa metal will be there. So this is used for the GERD. Famotidine, remember they are the histamine 2 blocker. This is the histamine 2 blocker. The drugs ending with the dine, that is H2 blocker. Remember this name, Coa metal. Coa metal, that is can be given in your option. So that is the Coa metal. Remember this is the same name as the furosemide, and this is what, this is the H2 blocker, and which it is used for which condition? It is used for the GERD, that is the gastroesophageal reflux disorder. Yahan tak okay, till now everything is clear. After that, there is a antispasmodic and cholagogues, so or choleractics. So this condition, remember these drugs, the antispasmodic drugs. So antispasmodic drugs, when we having to do the loads of the spasmatic, load of spast or the load of the tones is there is a hypertonic condition. So in that condition we will give the antispasm. In that condition we will give the antispasmodic, and cholagogues or the choleractic. So this is given in the case of hypertonic type of biliary dyskinesia. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear? So that is the hypertonic type of the biliary dyskinesia. After that we can give that the cholecystokinetics. So cholecystokinetics, remember, in the last I will give you like some whatever the important drugs has been mentioned, and in that I will give you some important keywords, and after that we will discuss like with the help of those keywords which drugs can be given. Okay, here we will be having the cholecystokinetics. So cholecystokinetics, this is if the patient has taken the fatty foods, and for the contraction of the gallbladder, which drugs will be given? That is the cholecystokinetics. That is the cholecystokinetics drugs will be given. After that we will see there is a PPI, peptic ulcer disease, that we already discussed. If the Helicobacter pylori, so first we will go for the proton pump inhibitors. If the proton pump inhibitor is not effective, then we go for the triple therapy. So this is again I wrote. Then after that we will having another drugs, that is the salazopyridazine. So we having the, they can simply can give you the pyridazine also, but other than that they can give you the salazopyridazine. So salazopyridazine, remember, this is the treatment for the non-specific ulcerative colitis. This is the treatment for the non-specific ulcerative colitis. So remember the salapyridazine, this is used for which condition? That is the non-specific ulcerative colitis. Non-specific ulcerative colitis. Okay. चलो, आफ्टर दैट कोलिनोलाइटिक्स. अब देखो कोलिनोलाइटिक, कोलिनर्जिक, अब लाइटिक्स मींस ब्रोकन, लाइटिक्स मींस ब्रेक. सो ये ब्रेकिंग और द एंटागोनिस्ट or the opposite of the cholinergic blockers. So cholinolitics, so this is used in case of the chronic obstructive bronchitis patient. There is one drug, that is the cromolyn sodium. In the question there has been asked which drug is not used in asthma. So that is which drug? Cromolyn sodium. You no need to remember the mechanism here. Just remember the drugs, because they will be directly asked. So don't worry about all this concept, because you have the less time now, and this is the rapid revisions. So I will not tell you any mechanisms or anything. Whatever I am telling you, that will be the direct questions will be asked. So which is the not used in asthma? That is the cromolyn sodium will be there. Then we will be having the Atrovent. Remember the Atrovent, it is used for the COPD. But Atrovent is given along with the theophylline. Will be given. After that we will be having the bronchodilators. Now if we see the bronchodilators, so bronchodilators, what are they? Beta 2 agonist. Beta 2, what they cause? They cause the bronchodilation. So we will give the bronchodilators. They are the beta 2 agonists. What are the beta 2 agonists? Like inhaled corticosteroids. The inhaled corticosteroids, what are the example? Fluticasone propionate. Beta 2 agonist, can you tell me the name? Salbutamol, salmeterol. So they are the beta 2 agonist. Fluticasone propionate, budesonide, or the baclomethasone. Inhaled corticosteroids, fluticasone propionate, budesonide, or the baclomethasone. So remember, they all are the drug of the choice for the severe asthma. In the asthma, the first things we will prefer, that is the beta 2 agonist more than the M3 blockers. Okay, ipratropium bromide or the theophylline. But firstly we prefer the beta 2 agonist, then we go for the M3 blocker. So remember the inhaled corticosteroids, that is the fluticasone propionate, budesonides, and the baclomethasones. So remember, these are the drug of the choice for the severe asthma patient. What are these drugs? That is the inhaled corticosteroids. Okay. After that, Intel. There is one question about this drug, that is Intel. The Intel means it is used for the prevention of the ragweed pollen allergy attacks. It is used for the prevention of the ragweed pollen. If any allergy, like a pollen allergy, basically there is the most common is the pollen allergy. So pollen allergy is there. So in that conditions, which drugs will be given? That is the Intel drugs will be given. Salmeterol, that I told you, that is the selective beta 2 agonist, and they are the bronchodilators. Salbutamol or the salbutamols, and these are used in the asthma patient. After that we will having some hematological drugs. So remember the hematological drugs, we having the vasopressins. The vasopressin also we know that is the hormone also. So remember that if the vasopressin, they will take you antidiuretic hormone, vasopressin or the antidiuretic hormone. So this is used for the bleeding. If you see that bleeding from the esophageal varices, and to reduce the pressure in the portal vein. To reduce the pressure in the portal vein and esophageal varices. So which drugs will be given? That is the vasopressin will be given. Other, they can give you, like if the patient having the macrocytic anemia and the patient having the some macrocytes is given in the blood, macrocytes is found in the blood, so definitely this patient can having the macrocytic anemia. And there is a patient having the diphyllobathyrium salatum, because diphyllobothrium latum. Diphyllobothrium latum. So what these do? This will diphyllobothrium latum, what they will do, they decrease the vitamin B12. vitamin B12 को क्या करेंगे, decrease कर देंगे. तो decrease कर देंगे, then we will give for the preparations we will give, that is the vitamin B12 preparations will be given. After that, 6-mercaptopurin, so that is used in the lymphoblastic leukemia, and 5% solution has been given. That is the, remember, very important drug, that is the 6-mercaptopurin. So 6-mercaptopurin, it is given in the lymphoblastic leukemia, and it is used as the maintenance therapy. Okay. After that, Milocin, remember, this is the drugs that we used in case of the leukemia. The Milocin, this is the drugs that we will use in case of the leukemia. After that, we will be having the cryoprecipitate. The cryoprecipitate, that is used in case of the hemophilia A. But if they ask you hemophilia B and C, so remember, in that we will give the fresh frozen plasma. Will be given. So fresh frozen plasma, that is given in the hemophilia B and C. So remember that hard works, consistency and the positivity, they're always equal to the success and always equal to the clearing the exam. So if you are studying hard, if you are consistent in your efforts, and you have to maintain the positivity inside you, because without maintaining the positivity inside you, you can't be the great in the exam. Because if some anxiety, we forget some answer, and then it will be happen in the main exam day. So don't be nervous, don't be anxious, everything will be good. If you have studied hard, if you was consistent, and if you had studied everything, definitely you will be able to pass this exam. No one can stop you. Okay, so just keep working hard, consistent, and believe in the goals. Everything will be fine in the end. Okay. Already many of you have suffered, not many of you, all of you have suffered from the war areas and the Ukraine-Russia wars, and all those stuffs has been, loads of the thing has been, we have done in our previous years. So don't worry about anything at all, just keep patience and be positive in all the circumstances, and everything will be fine in the end. Okay, after that, let's continue with the rheumatology. The rheumatology की बात आती है, तो rheumatology very important topic. Rheumatoid arthritis, so all the rheumatology video you can get on my YouTube channels, and check out the playlist also. There I also post all these video: osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma, dermatomyositis, carpal tunnel syndromes, and or there's some more, one or two more drugs. The gout, pseudo gout, all these has been explained. So this is the rheumatology, and the rheumatology, remember, there are some antihistamines. The antihistamines, what are these? They are the H1 blockers. The H1 blocker, they are used for the skin itching. They are used for the skin itching. So this is used for the skin itching. Ting 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 ting. This is used for the ting 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 ting. Then skin itching. Then colchicine. Colchicine, remember, this is used in the gout. Colchicine used in the gout. Can you write me in the comment box what is the allopurinol? The allopurinol. The allopurinols, which enzyme it inhibits? Allopurinol inhibit which enzymes? Then remember, and also tell me that is used in which condition. It is used in which conditions? The allopurinols, this is used in which conditions, and which enzyme is inhibited by the allopurinol? आलू पूरी खाओ, तो आलू पूरी के साथ लोल. So that is the D-penicillamine. D-penicillamine, this is used in the scleroderma. Scleroderma also we discussed in our rheumatology part. Video you can get on the YouTube playlist. There is a separate playlist for the rheumatology. There you will see all these topics and revise all those topics. Then we were having the NSAID or the diclofenac. NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. They are the COX-1 inhibitors, and we will be having diclofenac, aceclofenac, aspirin, So remember the diclofenac, this is used in the sciatica. This is used in the sciatica, or we can call it the lumbar radiculopathy. Lumbar radiculopathy. So in both these conditions, we will see the NSAID or the diclofenac will be given. NSAID, diclofenac will be given in the sciatica or lumbar radiculopathy. Can you tell me the methotrexate? Metho. So methotrexate, remember, very important drugs. Which disease we will give the methotrexate? So remember, this is given in the rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis, which drugs will be given? That is methotrexate. Then inhaled intels, we have discussed this. This is the asthma prevention, or in the hay fever also. Hay fever. So that is a hay fever. That is the inhaled intels that's used in the asthma prevention and in the hay fever. After that, celecoxib. Hey, celecoxib. There is a selective COX-2 inhibitor. What are the COX-1, COX-2? They are the COX-LOX pathway. We have the COX-1 where we'll see diclofenac, aceclofenac, aspirin, or then we having the COX-2 inhibitor. COX-2 inhibitors, like we will be having celecoxib and rofecoxib. But remember, they both causing the myocarditis. But after that, this drug has been eliminated, and only the celecoxib has been now currently. So this is what the selective COX-2 inhibitors, and what it used in? Used in the sacroiliitis. Which one? Sacroiliitis. Which one? Sacroiliitis. Don't confuse. Sciatica, if the question, they will give you the sciatica. So which drugs will be given? Diclofenac, NSAID. See, these are the COX-1 inhibitor. They are the COX-1 inhibitor. But if the question they mention the sacroiliitis, if the question they mention which drugs? Sacroiliitis. Which drug? Sacroiliitis. So sacroiliitis, which drugs will be given? That is the celecoxib will be given. Okay. Okay. After that, antimicrobial drugs. क्या होगा? Anti. तो antimicrobials. तो loads of microbial. So see what you will see. Acyclovir. The acyclovir. So acyclovir, this is used in the singles. जो तुम हो वो उसमें नहीं की बात नहीं कर रहा. ये singles एक disease का नाम है. I know many of you, सारे जो single थे वो सोच रहे हैं कि हमारे अंदर कब ये दवाई हम mingle हो जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं है. This is the singles, that is the disorders that in that condition we use the acyclovir. Then we are having the herpes. They caused by the herpes. Ganciclovir. The gan. जैसे क्या चलाओ? गन. ठीक है, गन चलाओगे. गन तो गन क्या किस में चलाओगे? साइटोमेगालोवायरस में. किस में चलाओगे? सीएम पे. क्या चलाओगे? सीएम पे. चीफ मिनिस्टर पे क्या चला दो? गन चला दो. सो ऑन द चीफ मिनिस्टर क्या चलाओगे? गन चलाओ. तो गैन साइक्लोवीर. कुछ और मत समझ जाना, इसे गैन है, ये गैन साइक्लोवीर है. ठीक है, साइटोमेगालोवायरस, दैट इज द सीएम. चलो, साइटोमेगालोवायरस में क्या होता है? कौन सी आंखें? उल्लू की आंखें. दैट इज द owl eye. The owl eye will be seen. After that, the benzathine penicillin. बाप रे. That is the Bacillin 5. Benzathine penicillin 5, Bacillin 5, that is used for the secondary rheumatisms. Now see, if the patient already have all the carditis, in the patient we see the carditis is there, and the patient has got the rheumatic heart fever, rheumatism has been developed in the patient. So benzathine penicillin G will be given around for 41 years. But in your base or in your question Q banks, you have gotten the 25 years. So remember that which maximum it is for 25 years. Okay, the benzathine penicillin, the Bacillin 5 we use for the secondary rheumatisms, and remember normally we give for the 41 year. Okay, after that the streptomycin, gentamicin. This is cause the hearing loss. I cannot hear anything. So that is the streptomycin, gentamicin. I took the streptomycin, I took the gentamicin, then I am not able to hear. What are you saying? I am not able to hear. So remember, this is not streptomycin, not suitable for pregnancy, and they are the contraindicated in the gentamicin. Remember, gentamicin having the N. So gentamicin, they are the contraindicated in which drug? Glomerulonephritis with nephrotic syndrome. Okay, so remember the gentamicin contraindicated in the glomerulonephritis with nephrotic syndrome. Uh-oh. And they causing the nephrotoxicity. They causing the ototoxicity. Hearing loss को क्या बोल सकते हैं? Ototoxicity. So remember the streptomycin, they cause the ototoxicity, but gentamicin having the N, so they are causing the nephrotoxicity also. They are having the ototoxicity and the nephrotoxicity will be there. Okay, after that ethambutol. I studied, sir. Where I studied, sir, I don't know. But I studied there something was Ribes was there. So Ribes, sir, it was the anti-tubercular drugs, rifampicin, isoniazid, pyrazinamide, ethambutol and the streptomycin. Oh yes. So that is the streptomycin. So streptomycin हमने अभी पढ़ा. That is causing the hearing loss. Ethambutol, remember, they causing the optic neuritis. They causing the anti-optic neuritis. This is the anti-tuberculosis drugs. Isoniazid, sir, prophylaxis for the TB recurrence. हिंदी में प्रोफाइलैक्सिस का मतलब क्या होता है? किसी का रोकथाम. देखो, प्रोफाइलैक्सिस और ट्रीटमेंट, बहुत सारे बच्चे हिंदी में कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं ना. प्रोफाइलैक्सिस क्या होता है, ट्रीटमेंट क्या होता है? तो हिंदी में बता सकता हूं मैं, इंग्लिश में तो इसको एक्सप्लेन करना. प्रोफाइलैक्सिस मींस समथिंग प्रिवेंशन. Prophylaxis means prevention, then treatment means we are giving some treatment, we are treating the patient. So इसको बोलते हैं रोकथाम. प्रोफाइलैक्सिस में क्या बोलते हैं? प्रिवेंशन, रोकथाम करना. ट्रीटमेंट क्या बोलते हैं? किसी चीज का उपचार करना. ठीक है. Isoniazid, the prophylaxis for the TB recurrence. Doxycycline, doxy, that is the doxycycline, used in the typhus fever, prophylaxis for the plaque, and it is also used in the epidemic typhus, that is the Rickettsia prowazaki. Epidemic typhus. The P is there. So Rickettsia prowazaki causing the epidemic typhus. So doxycycline, Rickettsia prowazaki. Then we having the typhus fever, and we will be having the prophylaxis for the plague. So plague, typhus fever, doxycycline. Jovirax, it is used in case of the viral encephalitis. Jovirax, it is used in case of which drugs? Viral encephalitis. Okay. Hydrogen peroxide is used in the gas gangrene, Acetyl salicylic acid, this is the contraindicated in which drugs? That is contraindicated in the hemophilia. Okay, don't remember the coach, but just remember this is the question that I put, that's why I put here. The acetyl salicylic acid, they are the contraindicated in the hemophilia, because acetyl salicylic acid, aspirin, it is the antiplatelet drugs, antithrombotic drugs, that's why it is the contraindicated in the hemophilia. Okay, one more beautiful quote here. The pace might not be your favorite. Whatever you are studying, the pharmacology, it not be your favorite, or whatever you are studying, that not be your favorite. But next chapter of your life, when you will be called the doctor, the DR, the next chapter of your life will be the DR dot. That is, the doctor will be the Incredibles. Your parents are waiting for you to be called the doctors, your name. So this page might not be your favorite, this year you will not be your favorite. You are getting the loads of the circumstances. I know that many students like facing loads of the problems, but believe me, the next chapters that of your life, that will be the Incredibles, and you will be called the doctors in the front of your names. And once your father will say, my doctor, and then your names will be called. So believe me, it will be just for few, like it's matter for only for few months, and you will be get your degree, you will be getting your degree, you will be having everything, and after that you will be whatever like you are preparing for, whichever exam preparing for, just keep working hard and just give your best in that things. That's it. Okay, so everyone's wait for that incredible moment. You can't imagine like how much it will be the productive, how much it will be like कितना जबरदस्त होने वाला है. You can't imagine now. Once you will be able to clear everything, then you will realize here whatever you got. Okay, so on that behalf, let's continue with the chloramphenicol succinate and prednisolone. See, chloramphenicol succinate and prednisolone, this is used in case of the meningococcemia, or you can remember this is used in the pediatrics meningococcus, pediatric meningitis. So in the pediatric meningococcus, remember chloramphenicol succinate and prednisolone, this is used in the meningococcemia and also used in infective toxic shock of the first degree. Infective toxic shock of the first degree or the meningococcemia, the chloramphenicol succinate and prednisolone is being given. After that, the Ampiox and amikacin. Ampiox and amikacin, remember this is used for the pediatric pneumonia. If in the question they ask you the pneumonia is given, the pediatrics pneumonia is given, then which drugs will be given? That is the Ampiox and amikacin will be given. Ampiox and amikacin will be given in that condition. After that, there is a biceptol. So biceptol, remember there is a cotrimoxazole. Biceptol, cotrimoxazole, trimoxazole. So biceptol is another name of which drug? Cotrimoxazole. Then which drugs will be here? That is the clindamycins. Which drugs will be here? The clindamycins. So biceptol, remember that is which drugs? The biceptol cotrimoxazole, it is given in the anthrax. But if the question has been asked about the patient has been diagnosed with the pneumocystic carinii. So remember in the pneumocystic carinii, we will give the biceptol cotrimoxazole plus the clindamycins will be given. Biceptol cotrimoxazole plus clindamycin will be given in which condition? That is the pneumocystic carinii. Okay. Okay, so let's discuss about the metronidazole. The metronidazole, remember this is the for the Trichomonas vaginalis. The metronidazole that is used in case of the Trichomonas vaginalis. अभी बात करते हैं टेट्रासाइक्लिन. देखो टेट्रासाइक्लिन की जब हम बात करते हैं तो टेट्रासाइक्लिन, रिमेंबर दिस इज यूज्ड इन केस ऑफ द रिएक्टिव अर्थराइटिस. The tetracycline, this is used in case of the reactive arthritis. Ciprofloxacin, remember that is the UTI. Ciprofloxacin, that is UTI or the pyelonephritis. Ciprofloxacin that is used in case of the UTI and the pyelonephritis, or that is caused by the Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So ciprofloxacin, remember if any urinary tract infections, which you will see there is a ciprofloxacin will be there. After that you will see that this patient will be having the pyelonephritis. In the pyelonephritis patient also you can give the that is the ciprofloxacin. After that this is Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Then there is a benzyl benzoate or the permethrin creams. The benzyl benzoate and the permethrin creams. So this is used in case of the scabies. This is used in case of the scabies. So if the scabies, which drugs will be given or which the cream will be used, that the benzyl benzoate cream or permethrin cream will be used in case of the scabies. Then there is a bilateral pneumonia. See, if we talk about the conditions like bilateral pneumonia is there. So bilateral pneumonia, remember this is caused by that bilateral pneumonia caused by the mycoplasma, or in the history they will give you the mycoplasma and then they say there is a bilateral pneumonia has been developed in this patient. So which drugs will be given? We will give the azithromycin. Azithromycin, remember if they will not give the azithromycin, they will give you the generation. So which generation is that? That is the second generation macrolides. So clarithromycin and azithromycin, they both are the second generation macrolides that you need to remember. The first generation is what? That is the erythromycin. The first generation is what? That is the erythromycin. But they will give you the in the option the second generation macrolide, either second generation or azithromycin will be given in the question. Then remember the augmentin they can also use, and augmentin it is the drug of the choice in erythema annular centrifugum. This is the augmentin is the drug of the choice in erythema annular centrifugums. Okay, so I hope you will remember this. After that we will go for the neurology and the psychiatry. If you see there is a diazepam, lorazepam, midazolam. The diazepam, lorazepam or the midazolams. So what you will see, the status epilepticus. It is given in the status epilepticus. Cibazone. The Sebazone, this is the used in case of the, we have seen that the alcohol withdrawal. So alcohol withdrawal, we will see the patient will be having the seizure within the 24 hours. So in that condition, we will give the Sebazone. Which drugs will be given? That is the Sebazone will be given in patient of the alcohol withdrawal. Sebazone will be given in the seizure in alcohol withdrawal patient. After that, obstetrics case, there is the Ovastin drugs, Dalphastone or the Naloxone. कौन सी? Ovastin, Dalphastone or the Naloxone. So what we will give? Ovastin, it is given in the vaginal suppositories and atropic colpitis. Colpos मतलब vagina plus cervix. Colpos मतलब vagina plus cervix. So that involve the, that is colpos. That is the colpos. So in atropic colpitis, which drug will be given? That is Ovastin will be given. Dalphastone. The Dalphastone, it is given in the endometriosis. The Dalphastone, it is given in which condition? Endometriosis. Which drugs will be given? Dalphastone. Then we have the Naloxone. Then we will be having the Naloxone. So Naloxone, remember, this is given in which condition? Opioid antagonist. This is given in which condition? In opioid antagonist. Which drugs will be given? That is the Naloxone will be given in the opioid. Naloxone is what? It is the opioid antagonist. Naloxone is what? That is the opioid antagonist. Other drugs that is asked in your exam, that is the Baralgin. So Baralgin, it is used in the renal colic. Then Doxazocin. See, the Doxazocin, it is the alpha 1 blocker. Doxazocin, it is the alpha 1 blocker, and this is used in the BPH and hypertension. Doxazocin alpha 1 blocker used in the BPH and hypertension. BPH and hypertension, which drugs will be used? That is the Doxazocin. So Doxazocin, it is the alpha 1 blocker. Which condition we use? That is the BPH plus hypertension, we will use the Doxazocin. After that, the Phentolamine. Phentolamine, it is used in the pheochromocytoma. Phentolamine is used in which condition? Pheochromocytoma. Which drugs will be used? Phentolamine. Metformin. So metformin, if the patient is the diabetic, metformin we know that is the diabetic drug. So remember, in the diabetic drug, in the diabetic patient, if the patient is obese patient, so in that patient we will give the metformin. Prazosin is also again that is the alpha 1 blocker. Then it is given in which drugs will be given? See, the Jocin, they are the alpha 1 blocker. Here also the Jocin. So Prazosin, remember, they are also used in the pheochromocytoma. Pilocarpine hydro. Pilo, that is glaucoma. Piloglucoma. Pilocarpine hydrochloride used in which condition? Glaucoma. Dexamethasone, if you see patient at the infant having the respiratory distress, so in the respiratory distress, the prophylaxis we will give, that is the dexamethasone. Then Mercazolil. The Mercazolil, this is drugs used in the hyperthyroidism. Mercazolil used in hyperthyroidism. Mercazolil used in which condition? Hyperthyroidism. Speak out with me. Then we have the hypertonic solution. If hypertonic solution, remember, this is given in the case of purulonecrotic wound dressings. So if we see the purulonecrotic wound dressings, at the hydration stage we will give the hypertonic solution. Levodopa carbidopa, everyone knows, Parkinson disease. Can you tell me which rigidity will be seen? The cogwheel rigidity will be seen in case of the Parkinson disease. The cogwheel rigidity will be seen. After that, can you tell me some drugs that we will tell? I told you that we will discuss with the keywords. Okay, so if you have seen that patient having the history of antihypertensive drugs, like if the patient is taking any antihypertensive drugs, and after the antihypertensive drugs, we have seen that this patient have got some psychotic signs. Okay, like the patient having the started hearing of the voice of some from other person, and someone is thinking that someone is harming him, or someone is threatening her. So in that conditions, which drugs will be given? That is the antipsychotic drugs will be given. This is the psychology related to the psychiatry. If the patient having the history of obesity, the person is obese, they're genetically also the mother, father, they all are the obese people. You see the fatty meal is also there, plus you see the no pathology. So in that patient we will give the dietary treatment plus exercise will be done. pregnant woman plus generalized tonic-clonic convulsions. So in that patient will give the magnesium sulfate. Which drugs will be given in pregnant woman, generalized tonic-clonic convulsions? So which drugs will be given? That is the magnesium sulfate will be given. Magnesium sulfate will be given. If the patient is the bipolar disorder, the patient with the history of the bipolar disorder plus they have the reduced, in the question they have been mentioned, there is a reduced the need for the sleep. So which drugs will be given? We will give the neuroleptic along with the sedative effects. Then we will able to treat this condition. After that we will be having, if the patient ischemic stroke is there plus NIHSS score is there, that is like around say 8 or 9. But see, if the ischemic stroke and the patients later develop the atrial fibrillation, the patient had the ischemic stroke and after that the patient had developed the atrial fibrillation. The patient had developed the atrial fibrillations. So in that condition, we will give the oral anticoagulant. We will give the oral anticoagulant drugs. So remember, if we see there is oral anticoagulant, that is warfarin. Which drugs will be given? Warfarin will be given. Or warfarin we will be having, that is the NOAC. And we see there is the drugs that are dabigatran, rivaroxabans or apixabans. Dabigatran, rivaroxabans or the apixaban. So they are all are the oral anticoagulants. Okay. So that you need to remember. So this is what the ischemic stroke, and in the question they have seen that there is a NIH, that is the like NIHSS score, means that is the stroke scale. With the help based on the scale, like on the scale wise we will discuss that how the severity of the stroke will be there. Like if they will see the 8 or the 9 score, that means we will treat the patient with the help of oral anticoagulant or the warfarin or the NOACs. What are the NOACs drugs? That is the dabigatran, rivaroxaban or the apixabans. Okay. After that we will be having the exogenic constitutional obesity. The exogenic constitutional obesity, if patient will be having obesity, देखो, now patient is what? He is relaxing. Nothing, he is not doing nothing. So in that condition what you have to do? You have to say to the patient, reduce the diet and the exercise. So lifestyle modification is the best things that you have to done. So if you see the patient having the history of the steroid, if you see the patient having the history of the steroids, plus we see the surgery of the chronic disease. The history of the steroids, the patient has taken the steroids before and there see the surgery of the chronic disease. So what you have to do, if the patient already taking the steroids and in that you are seeing the patient is going under the some surgery of any chronic disease, like for example you said in case of the chronic cholecystitis, the patient can having the surgery of the chronic cholecystitis. So at the time of surgery what you have to do, you have to increase the dosage at the time of the surgery to reduce the stress. Okay, so that's why what is the the answer will be there that you have to increase the dosage at the time of the surgery. NOAC matlab that is, I will write it. Okay, NOAC means that is known vitamin K antagonist. Okay, this is the known vitamin K antagonist, that is the NOCSS. So include the dabigatran, rivaroxabans or the apixaban. The all are the oral anticoagulant like warfarin or the known vitamin K antagonist. After that we will be having that is the treatment for the primary hypothyroidism. Remember the L-thyroxine. Now see this question. If you see that patient has gotten the treatment for the primary hypothyroidism. So treatment for primary hypothyroidism is the L-thyroxine. The treatment of primary hypothyroidism is the L-thyroxine. The L-thyroxines, remember, this is the treatment. But in the question they has given the patient has taken the L-thyroxine for primary hypothyroidism. Okay, we know that this condition that patient should be taken. So now the question is asking that to assess the effectiveness of the dosage of the drugs, we need to assess the effectiveness and like for the depends on the dose of the drug. So which compound will be used? So remember to assess the effectiveness, we use the thyrotropin compound. We use the thyrotropin compound will be used. Okay. Then remember there is another name of alteplase, that actylase. That is the actylase. Okay, that is the common name is the alteplase that we will given, but they can be given as the actylase. In case of the deep vein thrombosis prevention, we will go for the low molecular weight heparin. Warfarin, we have the anti-thrombotic drugs. And remember that if the patient of atrial fibrillations, in warfarin we will do the INR. What is the INR? That is the international normalized ratio. The international normalized ratio will be necessary. Okay, so that antithrombotics and necessary in the atrial fibrillations. Okay, so this is what that is for all the important drugs that the question has been asked. Now your work has to done that you have to solve the questions or based on these drugs. Solve all the questions that is given in the your Q banks. Solve every and each and every questions, and every the questions will be solved. Just revise these things and watch it again one or two times minimum. 2 times minimum you should have watched it. If you feel that it is the if I'm speaking slowly, then you can switch it to the 1.2x or the 1.5x or the 2x, so that will be easy. Your time will be managed. If you have any query, and you can write me on the Instagrams at @doctors.medicmukul. So this is my Instagram handles, where there you can follow me. Also you can join on my Telegram channels, that is the Medic Mukul. You just search on the Telegrams Medic Mukuls. So join that also. And if you want to join me on my WhatsApp channels, then write me on the Instagrams. I will share you the link, and also you will get the link on the Instagram also in the some highlights of the story. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for watching in one go. And it's my pleasures to meet with you all, and it's my pleasures to have to discuss with everything. I hope this video is helpful, and I was thinking that this video really like you need that things, because there are some misconceptions or the some important note, like the good questions are regarding these topics about the pharmacology, but these are all are the important like the drugs that has been asked in your all the exams. So thank you for watching. Please do subscribe and share this video. If you have not subscribed this channel, please do it now, because it will give the some motivations to me to post the more and more videos. And so thank you so much, and wish you all the best. See you in the next video. Tab tak ke liye bye bye, good night, good morning, good evenings, good afternoons. Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna. Take care.